All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto gaming landscape and the NFT gaming landscape as I'm going to be breaking down my tier list, the last tier list you guys absolutely loved when I just ranked crypto gaming, like basically the top 12 crypto gaming tokens by market cap. But now I'm going to go into gaming blockchains. We're going to be ranking it on adoption, games coming to the platform, and efficiency, of course, of the network, potential in the future. We're going to talk about the tier list, S2D, on the top gaming blockchains in this edition. And without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't here to play. If you get lost, show you the way.
And let's jump right into it. Be sure to drop down and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoy these tier lists, we can continue to do them across future shows, across the NFT markets, metaverse tier lists, etc. So drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the content. Leave your comments down below and subscribe to the channel for daily content here on Crypto Banter. Shout out to our sponsors here quickly. Myria, one of the leading Web3 gaming platforms across the entire space. Animoca Brands, the biggest Web3 gaming company in the world. Unix Gaming, one of the best GameFi infrastructures in the space. MEXC, the official exchange of crypto banters in the game show, as well as Spintop, the official GameFi index of the In the Game show. Let's jump right into the rankings. And I know, I love a lot of these projects, right? These are some of the top projects in the space and top blockchains in the space. And that's what we're particularly ranking on today, right? Adoption, what games are coming to the platform, like I mentioned in the intro, as well as the efficiency of the network. And, has it been compromised? These will all factor in, strength of network, speed, etc. So let's jump right in with Phantasma. So Phantasma, I absolutely love. And it's been great to see in the bear market, more games are starting to flock to Phantasma's blockchain. And it's a very efficient platform. The GameFi Pavilion works very well. I'm going to go ahead and start the rankings off with putting them in the C tier. So we're going to set the standard. We're going to put them in the C tier for now. I think that, what they have right now is brilliant. And I think in the future, the games that keep flocking to the platform, wanting to build with Phantasma, with their smart NFTs, I think that there is some potential there. So I'm going to put them in the C tier, especially because the adoption potential in the future weighs heavy. More games could flock to their blockchain as things become more multi-chain. Let's go into Polygon. If you watch the show, I think you would already know that Polygon will be an S tier blockchain for me. I mean, if you look across the gaming landscape, they're going to be integrating not only, I don't have to talk about the metaverse partnerships. We're going to be talking about Dr. Disrespect's Dead Drop Extraction Shooter. That has the potential to reach 5 million plus users. We have Metalcore. There's so many quality games. Ever since Ryan Wyatt took the helm from YouTube Gaming, Polygon has been absolutely crushing it. So I absolutely love Polygon. We're going to put them in the S tier, and that will set the standard for the tier list. Now let's get into Avalanche. Avalanche, with their GameFi, it's AVAX Labs, heads everything gaming for Avalanche, and their blockchain is super efficient. I've never really had problems when I use Avalanche in the past, especially, past games like DeFi Kingdoms or Krabata. They have their own subnets. They're giving these games technology to actually use their own tokens as gas. Although I hope that model does kind of go away, right, with those inflationary tokens that did ultimately become the downfall of a lot of those GameFi projects that were, I would say, generation one games, Axie, PegAxie, those type of games with 2 tokens. But however, it does empower a project to be able to use their own token as gas. And that is bullish in general, as long as it is not like an inflationary system like we saw in the past, right? And that's not anything to do with AVAX. AVAX has the tech in place for these projects to empower themselves to run Avalanche technology-backed blockchains for themselves. So for these reasons, I'm going to go ahead and assert them in right now. I'm going to probably say, and with Shrapnel on the way, I'm going to put Avalanche in the A tier. I'm going to put Avalanche in the A tier for gaming blockchains, considering the games that also are on the way. They have a big mobile game that just, recently came out. I believe it's called Castle Crush. I think this is the title of it, for example, and it's reaching, a ton of users on the mobile market with Shrapnel on the way. I'm going to bump them up. I was thinking B tier. I was thinking B tier, so we'll move them up to the A tier. Let's get into Aptos. This one's really questionable, right? Because we have no idea. Obviously, the project looks super strong. Everyone's touting it as the next Solana. But right now, there's no gaming adoption. And there is huge gaming adoption in the future. Absolutely huge gaming adoption in the future. For these reasons, I can't put a project with no active games coming, flocking to the blockchain yet in anything above the B tier. We're going to put them in the C tier. You can't even see it because it's black, but I will reiterate what that is whenever we get to it. But yeah, we're going to put Aptos here at the front of the C tier, and that is based upon future adoption potential is huge. But then right now, there's just not enough. There's no active games on the platform. So for those reasons, it will lead the C tier. Let's talk about Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain, it's had its ups and downs across, the time. It's been compromised before, obviously. And that does weigh into my rankings a bit. I think that security is huge, especially when it comes to gamers. If a gamer loses their assets that just comes to the space due to network error or bridge error or anything that could compromise their funds, right? That just scares away Web 2 gamers. And that's something that they would never want to happen to them. And it would give them such a sour taste in their mouth. Obviously, no one wants to get it, rug pulled or scammed. But, or like the blockchain compromised and you lose your funds. In the DeFi space, there was a lot of rug pulls over time on Binance Smart Chain. There's definitely, that's like the rug chain for DeFi. For these reasons, there's a lot of quality games on the platform. Thetan Arena, for example, fantastic game, bad tokenomics. But Binance is doing a lot in gaming. They're funding tournaments. I do like their involvement. But right now, with every other chain's upside, it has to be in the D tier for me. I'm going to put Binance Smart Chain in the D tier because of no one's actively going to Binance Smart Chain that I really know. Unless it's cross-chain. There's some games like Mobland operating on ETH and Binance Smart Chain, for example, but they were on ETH first, right? So it just wasn't like they're doing the cross-platform, cross-blockchain, for example. There's just not a lot of games leading the way that are going towards Binance Smart Chain. So for those reasons, we're going to put it at the top of the D tier. Let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum's leading the NFT market. We all know that. You have to denominate ETH on OpenSea and the majority of Ethereum-based NFT projects. But with gaming, a lot of projects are launching their NFTs on Ethereum, and you still just load it into the game. My Pet Hooligan, for example, if you hold a hooligan, you just load into the game, you just approve your wallet on their official site, and then it loads you into the game. Their NFTs are on the ETH blockchain, for example. So there definitely are instances for this. It's definitely not a leader in the gaming space by any means. But for the fact that games can empower the technology, other games like WAGMI Games as well, you can jump in and use their character right off the OpenSea marketplace on ETH, and they're also on ImmutableX. But you can kind of you can onboard your assets with Ethereum. It's not all about paying gas fees every time. For these reasons, I'll put Ethereum in the B tier because also the future potential, right? I mean, if gas goes down or things change with the network with ETH 2.0 and all this stuff, who really knows? So we'll take a look in the future of Ethereum, but right now we'll lead it in the B tier. It's got more adoption than Phantasma and Aptos, and it's definitely stronger than Binance Smart Chain, in my humble opinion. Let's get into ImmutableX. ImmutableX, fantastic platform. So many top tier games coming. This one speaks for itself. Robbie and the guys over there at ImmutableX are just killing it every single day with partnerships. I mean, WAGMI Games, Undead Blocks, Guild of Guardians, Ember Sword, Illuvium. It speaks for itself. And I'm going to go ahead and rank ImmutableX as, all right. We're gonna leave it, between who's going to be the top is going to be really hard. Right now, I'll give my reasoning. So right now, I think that ImmutableX has more brand name titles, gaming-wise, coming to the platform than Polygon does. But I also think that Polygon is onboarding just as fast adoption that is going to bridge potentially more users into their network, into their other ecosystem projects with exposure with these brands like Disney, with these brands, we're looking at Disney, we're looking at Mercedes, Starbucks, Stripe, MasterCard, these massive brands that they're partnering with, everything that they're doing. And then we talk about Meta with the gaming landscape. That is a game. A metaverse is a game. If you put a VR headset on, it is a game. So I'm going to right now leave it at Polygon number 1, ImmutableX number 2. Also because ImmutableX doesn't have many active games today. So right now, Polygon has a lot of functioning games on the network, but ImmutableX only has a handful of active games using the platform. Like shout out to Gods Unchained, for example, OG game in the space. They're on ImmutableX, functions super well, but there's just not a lot of games there yet. For these reasons, I'm going to go Polygon number 1 in the S tier, and then ImmutableX number 2 in the S tier. Let's talk about Wax. Wax, you got to give them their credit. They have so many games on the Wax blockchain, some of the highest user-based games as well. And if you look at their partnerships, I mean, they have some of the biggest IP partnerships out there with traditional TV series, like toy brands. There's so many different things that they're spanning across IP-wise, kind of like VV-Omi in a way, with the amount of IP partnerships that Wax is actually delivering on their platform. I have to give respect where it's due. I don't talk about Wax a lot on In the Game, and maybe I should do a deep dive for those who might be unfamiliar with their platform. I'm going to actually put Wax, if it would let me, I'll move. There we go. I'm going to put Wax at the top of the A tier. I have to give them kudos because it's an easy onboarding process, and there's a ton of games on their platform. Really good IP coming to a lot of the partnerships that they have now are going to come in the future with digital collectibles and gaming and stuff like that. I have to give credit where it's due. We're going to put Wax at the top of the A tier on gaming for now. And let's get into the last 2 blockchains. If you've enjoyed the tier list, if you have some hot takes or you disagree with some of my rankings here, leave the comments down below because I'm super stoked. I loved reading the comments on the last tier list as well. So after this, leave your comment down below. Give me your S tier. And I mean, if you want to give me your whole tier list, go ahead. But give me your S and A tiers. I would be very curious for that. Let's talk about the last 2. The Ronin blockchain. So Ronin is Axie Infinity's blockchain, infamously compromised for $600 million. I think that what they tried to do was, innovative. What they tried to do was the concept and, having their own interoperability, bridge, wallet, network, right inside of, Axie. And then they want to move Ronin into future games, right? So they want Ronin to be a part of future Sky Mavis as the studio behind Axie Infinity. So they want to have multiple games on the Ronin network. I just don't, after what's happened over time with Axie Infinity, I don't see games. I've never seen a single game announced that they're building on Ronin. For these reasons, I'm going to have to put it at the bottom of the D tier. We're going to go bottom of the D tier for Ronin. $600 million hack X. And then another X is I have never once seen a gaming project say that they're building on Sky Mavis's Ronin. Fantastic project, fantastic protocol. I've actually used the network on Ronin and it's good. But for those reasons, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the list in the D tier. Last but certainly not least is Solana. So Solana, kind of similarly to ImmutableX, doesn't have a lot of games on the platform yet. Now, it's one of the fastest experiences. Like when I, for example, go on Star Atlas's website and connect and then do some stuff with the ships on there, it's like in seconds it confirms, just like that. Boom, boom, no issues. It's never really broken. That's a complete overblown joke as far as blockchains go. And with the games coming in the future, right now you already are seeing a ton of adoption with Meta Ops, Earth from Another Sun. I mean, we've talked to some of the biggest Solana projects here on the show over the last month and a half, and every single one of the devs that are behind projects, I asked them, Why are you building on Solana? I mean, they have such a war chest behind them for gaming. They are going to push everything forward. The network is super efficient. And this is where it gets hard. I honestly do think right now that Polygon and ImmutableX are in a realm of their complete own as far as gaming blockchains focus. But like the focus is gaming blockchain. But we're going to put Solana at the top of the A tier. I'm going to go top of the A tier for future adoption potential, because I know a lot of games over the next 3 to 5 years that are going to launch. I mean, probably I would say 6 months to 5 years that have been announcing that they're going to build on Solana, etc. And some of the projects that are already on, like with their Genesis collections that have games in the future, there's a ton of adoption coming. We're going to put it at the top of the A tier, and I'll round up the crypto gaming blockchain tier list once again. All things considered, games coming, adoption potential, onboarding potential, quality of the team, efficiency of the network, speed, etc. So Polygon at number 1 in the S tier and ImmutableX at number 2 in the S tier, the top tier. So S tier is Polygon and ImmutableX. We're looking in the A tier for Solana, Wax, and Avalanche. B tier, the standalone B tier gaming blockchain is Ethereum. The C tier is going to be Aptos and Phantasma. Now, Aptos, so much upside potential. I could totally see if I revisited this in 6 months to a year that Aptos could be A. I mean, completely would have no shock in that. But for today's purposes, it will fall at the front of the C tier and then Phantasma behind it. And then in the D tier, the only 2 D tier projects on the blockchain list is Binance Smart Chain and Ronin. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, as well as subscribe to the channel for daily videos here every single day. I will have a Saturday show. Big interview this weekend with a huge project, so we're going to be excited for that. I will see you guys then. As always, play well, my friends.